tale of a city. My name is Neha. I originally come all the way from Marfa, Mustang, but I've been in and out of Kathmandu for the majority of my life. Until recently, where I think that I finally found grounds in the city by a formal union. Um, that's Jagdisar, they're laughing at my speech, but yeah. So right now, with this exhibition, we're trying to, at least for my, with the prefix that I just mentioned, I'm trying to draw a connection between my cultural identity and my personal history with the city Kathmandu and the exhibition today. I'm sure a lot of, like a mini small anecdote or stories like mine can be witnessed more often than not, where individuals and communities and groups from corners from the country, or within the country or outside, somehow assembled in Kathmandu over a course of time, and they have their own, unique relationship established with the city. And I'm trying to say that that's exactly what this exhibition is about today. It's about celebration of this rich mix that Kathmandu has, because we have a lot of multiple traditions, exchange of ideas and customs and values and so forth, and that's exactly what this exhibition is about today. We're trying to put across a show that we all can experience together and celebrate together. So yeah, thank you to the team, to Susan Dai, to Film Foundry for collaborating with me and providing me this space to be a part of this journey. And for as much as I enjoyed being a part of the process, I hope you all will too. So with that said, I'd like to invite Ms. Sangeeta Thapa on stage to say a few words.
Honorable Chief Guests, Mayor Chiri Babu Maharjan and Professor Dr. Niels Gutschow, dear friends, artists, musicians and members of the media. On behalf of the gallery and the artists, I would like to welcome everyone to this exhibition that seeks to celebrate the essence of Kathmandu Valley. It is a collective movement that aims to capture. The valley is becoming increasingly built up, haphazard buildings are cropping up and losing touch with the roots of its culture. The aim of this exhibition is to redirect and move back to values that celebrate liveliness, multiculturalism, and artistic liberation. Susan Dungall shares that the artists want to evoke a feeling of coming back home. Lastly, Tale of a City hopes to become more than a collection of works that are displayed at the gallery for a given time, and an overall reorientation of seemingly modern values to ideas that are indigenous, historical, and our own. The exhibition today, Tale of a City, is an exhibition featuring 8 artists. Abhishek Shah, who just performed, Anil Ranjit, Jagdish Upadhyay, Rupesh Man Singh from Film Foundry, whose exhibition I held 2 years ago, Sharmila Shrestha, married to Susan Dungall himself, and the Patton-based musical ensemble JATTHA, DHARI, Bhajan KHALA. Thank you for performing here today. The artists are working with multiple mediums. They have come together to explore the ideas that make Kathmandu Valley a unique amalgamation of culture, tradition, and heritage that it was in the past and that it is today. Like Newa said before, Kathmandu Valley is a place with a unique history. From the stories of Manjushri to sacred Kya dance, the valley holds more dimensions than just socio-economic or political ones. This is the main reason the exhibition is titled Tale of a City, highlighting how it has its own intangible yet powerful story to tell. The exhibition features multiple mediums: pen and ink drawings, photographs, video, and rice straw art. Moreover, this exhibition is not a static medium. It will feature dynamic forms like performance art, music, and the famous Samay Bhaji of the Newa people. As an exhibition reflecting on the nostalgia of Kathmandu Valley, it is inherently tied to Newa culture and heritage. The word Newa essentially means inhabitants of the valley. This exhibition is more than just a word that describes a certain community. According to the artist Sujan Dungall, the word Newa itself is a way of life, and their works are a celebration of this way of life. I'm very honored to have with us today as our chief guests Chiri Babu Maharjan, Mayor of Lalitpur. I wish you were the Mayor of Kathmandu, but there you are in Lalitpur. We are so honored that you are here today. May I invite you, Mayor Sahab, to say a few words?
So, हाम्रो Mayor साहबले स्पिच दिनुभन्दा अगाडि चाहिँ अलिकति एउटा टीकाको अलिक सेरेमनी गर्नुहुन्छ गुरुबाले.
Namaste, Jojolapa, and good evening. My name is Chiri Babu Maharjan. I'm the mayor of Lalitpur Metropolitan City. I represent Lalitpur, not Kathmandu. Okay, thank you, all of you. And it's my great pleasure to come here as the chief guest. But I'm very sorry, I didn't do any homework for this deliberation. I got an invitation, so I hurriedly came here, but all of you looks very prepared. But anyways, I just like to congratulate all the performers, all the persons who organized this rather great event. And of course, these performers are from my place. So I'm quite happy to have them here in Kathmandu, not in Patton. Okay, I being the mayor of Lalitpur Metropolitan City, it's my, we completed 4 years and it's the 5th year running, and our tenure is going to finish very soon. Very few months left. However, we have done quite a lot. This I claim, because in my manifesto, whatever I have said, we have achieved almost 80% of what I said. So I'm quite happy. On top of that, we got almost 8-9 months, which I think 1 year. So it's a 20% left over, which will be achieved again. So I will be 100% done. Okay, so I don't want to tell you other things, but we are trying to make our city smart city. It has so many components which is to be incorporated one at a time, so which we are doing. But I just like to focus on to the tangible and intangible heritage of Patton. The city is UNESCO designated World Heritage Site, and the earthquake, 2015 earthquake, did bring down a lot of temples onto the ground. So now all of those have been reinstated. But while we say tangible heritage, these are the things. But of course, these performances are intangible heritage. All the intangible heritage are associated with the tangible heritage. If there is no temple, no, this sort of intangible heritage will be not available, or it's meaningless. Therefore, whatever we are doing, it's a tangible and intangible heritage. For instance, what we say during the Dasai, it's Navami, we had a very, very interesting KHALA JATTHA, which we call in Newa JATTHA. That was gone almost 25 years ago. But once we came, then we again restarted this. It was really very, very fantastic. It's very nice and very popular after the Red Machandra Nath Chariot Festival. So this year we just performed on Navami during the same time, which is nicely went. So a lot of people congratulated me. So this is what we are doing, and we are, of course, in each and every toll, what we say, community, each and every community does have this type of band, that is we call dhime. It's the drum, then we call it the bhusha, which is called the cymbal. The combination of these two is dhime baja. So this thing has been reinstated in our city very, very nicely. So I once again very proud of the performance. So, okay, now today the program is Susan Dungall's, what's the name of the? Tale of the City. I visited few pictures, but I didn't understand what that was. It's very difficult to understand. So quite oftenly I asked Susan to explain some of those. He did nicely. He did it. His explanation nicely. So I now got little information. Anyways, thank you, Susan, for your excellent job, exemplary job. This could be one of the very important jobs the youngsters are doing in Nepal. Now these days again he represents Patton. Now he has shifted from Kathmandu to Lalitpur. So that will definitely satisfy you.
No.
Okay, having said this, I'd like to congratulate all of you. And having said this, I just want to give my deliberation. Thank you very much.
I would now like to invite Professor Dr. Gutschow, architect and anthropologist and a long-time resident of Bhaktapur. His commitment and love for Nepal, his invaluable research and documentation of Nepal's religious and social topography and resulting publications have provided an important documentation of our culture. From Pujari Mat in Bhaktapur to Gorkha, Nuwakot, Tag and Kinga, Dr. Gutschow has been documenting the decline of the valley's pristine landscape and now into a concrete jungle. I would now like to invite Professor Dr. Gutschow to say a few words. Yes. Power. Yeah, power is going on.
My voice. Thanks for the feta. The last time I got a feta was in July 1989 when we celebrated the taking to possession our house near Bhaktapur in the fields, because the house was haunted by boot and tread, so we pacified all the spirits of the place, and then from, you might not know, from the ridge of the house, water has to come down on my head and my wife's head, and then we got the pattern. So I have to tell you that 10 days ago, Sangeeta asked me to come to this celebration of art and talk for 5 minutes. So I said, Sangeeta, I can't do that. I can't do justice to what these people did in 5 minutes. So he agreed it may be a little bit longer. And I prepared my talk in a long manner, which I will not read out, but I will try to be a little bit shorter. But even more important, I felt talking about art also means I have to talk to about these two people, Sujan and Jagdish, and I said, please you visit me at home and show me a little bit of work before I come here, and let's talk about it. So we talked, in fact, little about their work, but about their life. Who is Sujan? Who is Jagdish? Now, to start with Sujan, his grandfather ran away to Varanasi, which I call the secret capital of Nepal. And only in 1962, his father returned, and I might have met him in Varanasi, because in June 1962, I crossed through Varanasi on my way to Nepal. Now, Sujan's father moved to Mahabodha, Kathmandu, later to Newa in Patton, and I think you were born in Patton or in Mahabodha? In Mahabodha. So the little boy came to Newa, and he told me he used to see his neighborhood, his baranda, and I was surprised that he talked about his baranda, because where is the Kaushi? The Kaushi was already lost, and this little boy was not allowed to enter the roof, which was now JATTHA. Okay, he grew up there, and I think his work reflects his memories. And maybe not only his memories, but also his yearning for something, yearning for meaning, and yearning for rootedness. Jagadi's grandfather ran away much earlier. Already in 1935 he ran away. Actually, the poor boy was married at the age of 16, and obviously he couldn't bear it and ran away. And only, I think 15 or 20 years later he returned to Kathmandu, searched for the wife to whom he was married at some time, and Jagadish was born. So Jagadish's grandfather came from the hill of Santaneshwar, moved to Varanasi, from Varanasi to Maru, where he opened a shop for Dalbat, and Jagadish also ran away. When he grew up, he went to Paris to study aviation. And after a long time of 7 years, he decided, that's good for nothing. I will leave aviation, go to the US. He spent 13 years in Seattle and learned photography. And only quite recently, almost 20 years ago, he returned to Kathmandu to run, as he told me, the only remaining dark room in the valley. I don't know if everybody agrees, Jagadish, is it really the only remaining dark room? Anyhow, so these are the two artists, and I have to add that my grandfather also ran away. In the wake of the German-French war in 1870, he ran away from conscription and ended up in southern Spain to enter the trading of wine. And in a way, Jagdish, I also ran away. At the age of 20, I left my hometown by train, and after a few months I ended up in Varanasi and later here in this valley, and exactly at the time of the BAJAAN Jatra, and who knows, maybe that was one of the reasons I was so fascinated by the urban rituals of this valley that I came again and again, and that kept me working here for the past 50 years. And I have to add that at the age of 18, I was producing huge, not drawings, but paintings, emulating my personal hero, Jackson Pollock. But I didn't become a painter, and I not even became an architect like my father, but I became an architectural historian and a self-proclaimed architectural anthropologist. And in that capacity, I want to say a few words about the work of these two artists. So that was already more than 5 minutes, I think. I already mentioned that I have the feeling that Sujan brings his dreams on paper. This is, in fact, an enlargement of Navaja, but this is not identifiable topography, but it is any cluster of Newa houses. And on top, you see a temple hovering over this environment, and maybe this is what Sujan felt is lost. Even more so because 3 years ago he moved to Dapakel. That means he is still in the district of Patton, no? But he is not in Patton. He lost this special urban feeling of being in Patton. And the question is, beyond realizing his dreams in his meticulous drawings, the question is, why does he depict Bhairava on a black horse? And I felt reminded of, in fact, Kalki on a white horse. Kalki entering our world in order to restore Dharma. And if you look more near to the picture, you see a jumble of old houses and the new, in Kathmandu, 6, 7 storied boxes, I call them boxes, coming up, and obviously Sujan is disturbed and presents Kalki on top of it. More so, supported by a fish, a snake, a tortoise, supporting a circular world. And the circle, in fact, always stands for heaven. So is Varaha supporting Svarga? Is this what Sujan has lost or is aiming for? Sujan reflects the great tradition, be it Varaha, be it Kalki, be it Bhairava. All this is the great tradition of the subcontinent, which is based on the Puranas. Let us say the Sanskrit knowledge of this world. Jagdish's work, in contrast, is of a very different kind. Jagdish works in the dark room. And in his work, in the context of his work, I call the dark room the uterus, in which he works on producing using images. And decidedly, he has blurred edges on these photographs and he prints it on Nepali paper. And this leaves, in a way, the dark, the uterus, to be visible to us. It's a photograph. But only now his work, what I call his real work, starts. Because the photograph gets a stroke. Jagdish, which finger do you use for the stroke? Is it the index finger of the right hand, or is it the middle finger? Index finger. Okay. But why these red strokes of vermilion? And only him visiting me, we talking for an hour, I came to know that these red strokes he borrowed from the 12 stones of behind the temple of Sikali or Rudyarayani, whatever you call her. There are 12 stones, and these stones receive marks with vermilion, and these marks on the stone are renewed every year, starting with Gatastapana. So for 4 days, there are 8 youngsters who have been fasting for 14 days, who renew these strokes. So why a stroke on a stone? And why Jagdish repeats that action to bring life? Because, let us say, the black and white photograph leaving the darkroom is still dead. And the stroke brings this piece of art to life. This is a lively thing. And the stones, the Sikali or Rudrayani, somehow got a name. It could be any name, because this reflects the need to name something unknown, something beyond perception, because the vital or powerful deities of the Nevas do not have an iconographically identifiable identity, but they are stones. And the stone, you can give any name to this stone. And these stones in coconut do not have any name, but they have somehow a marker, a red stroke. And I believe that the stone is beyond this or yet that deity, it is beyond this or that religion. It is the religion of place, because the stone is immovable. It remains there forever, and this is somehow the reference point for the community. People of Kokana worship these stones. The people of Bhaktapur worship the stones of the Astamatrika, a few Bhairava and a few Ganeshas. And in Kathmandu it's again different. Every Newa community creates its own universe built up around stones. And I believe that is the reason why I'm still here. I believe that these stones are so powerful that they don't need, in fact, names, and they don't need an explanation or meaning. It's beyond all that. The stone is there forever.
Performance dancer, please. Kya pakha. today. It has been simplified to 6 steps. And Niels talked about running away. My father, before he ran away from Nepal in 1962, lived not too far away from here. And there he told me that the kya was a part of darbars, a part of many households. These kya means a spirit, a tantric spirit. They are described as round, globular creatures, shining light, that come and try and trip you up. And for many years I grew up listening to the stories of the kya. And today to see this performance being revived and re-invoked, many pujas were done for many days, and the dance, only the dance aspect was brought here. The god, Mahadev, Shiva, all of these gods are invoked. And many houses have kya protectors to protect them from disasters. So let's hope that this dance changes many things, and we are now going to invite Susan Dungall to say a few words. Susan ji is an artist whose works I have loved and admired since he graduated from Kathmandu University. The city was always his theme. Susan is the recipient of the Australian Himalayan Foundation Scholarship Award and has shown his works at the Kathmandu Triennale. This work about migration was a seminal work which was also shown in Belgium and several other countries. He has shown in the India Art Fair and in several international forums. The work that you will visit today was created over a span of 4 years. Susan ji, thank you for bringing this amazing energy to the Sidhartha Art Gallery and to Babar Mahal.
Good evening, distinguished guests, my friends and family, especially my teacher, mentors. On behalf of Tales of City team, I would like you all to welcome once again. I personally feel very privileged to welcome Professor Dr. Niels Gutschow and his 50 years of contribution to Nepal and Nepali art, which is unexplainable for me with these words, but I know he is knowledge fountain. I met him personally in his home, and we sit for 3.5 hours, I guess. And I also want to welcome Mayor of Patton, Mr. Chiri Babu Maharjan. I think he's also the perfect man to be a mayor because of his passion toward culture and art and heritage. And as always, we are very grateful to Ms. Sangeeta Thapa, Director of Sidhartha Art Gallery, for her trust and for believing us. And this is the reason why we are all here together. I think I will not speaking much more because we are running out of time as well. So, we have some emergency program here, and then we have parade as well. So, I would like to hand over this microphone to Neha so that she will guide you a few things. Thank you very much for having me here. Thank you very much. And yes, please. One thing I forgot. This exhibition is for 1 month, so all the artists will be remaining here in the gallery. So if you have any curiosity or any kind of questions or comments, then please feel free to talk with us. We will be more than happy. Dhanyavad.
So I think our exhibition has officially begun. Now we'll parade towards the gallery and we'll have a small puja ceremony done by Guru Rajendra. And that's about it, I guess. Thank you so much. I hope you all enjoyed the show today.
I don't know if I was able to give you my card, but yes. I would love to have a meeting with you sometime. It all starts with the right question. Yes, exactly. Yeah. This is really, how do I put it? It's yeah, I mean, well, anyway, no, sorry, don't.
टाइटल टेल अफ सिटी सहरको कथा मैले देख्दै जाँदै मैले एक दिनमा चाहिँ सहर कस्तो त्यो बिचको अन्तरलाई चाहिँ मलाई कस्तो अनुभव गरायो भने चाहिँ मैले देखाउनु र यसमा चाहिँ अब अलिकति यसको पृष्ठभूमि भन्दाखेरि चाहिँ कुनै पनि सहर बन्नलाई 2-4 वर्ष 10-15 वर्षले सकिँदैन सहर बन्नलाई हजारौँ वर्ष लाग्छ कुनै पनि मान्छेले यहाँ 10वटा घर छ 20वटा घर छ यहाँ झल्लिका सबै यो सहर हो यहाँ बस्न जाऊ भने खासै त्यस्तो बस्नलाई त ठिक छ तर त्यहाँ सुख चाहिँ किन सुख प्राप्ति गर्नुको लागि चाहिँ